Hello YouTube. Right, we've got a pretty wet day outside. Got a spare few hours, so I thought we'd have a go at fitting the new fuel pump to the chuckle machine. I've ordered a couple of things off eBay. We've got a siphon to get some of the fuel out of the tank because I had just filled it up before disaster struck, so there's probably quite a bit of fuel in there that I want to get out, make it a bit easier removing the tank and working on it. The fuel pump came from India. It's actually a Himalayan fuel pump, but it also apparently fits the C5 as well. It's not a Royal Enfield, it's Nissin. It was basically the cheapest one I could find, so it's a bit of an experiment as to whether it's going to work. Everything looks identical from what I can see so far, from the pictures and stuff. So that's it there. Now that cost me about £43 delivered from India. It was waiting for me when I got back from the Wales trip, so I think the turnaround time from when I ordered it was about something like 11 to 15 days, something like that, depending on when it actually arrived. It was sitting here waiting for us. So it's a bit of an experiment. £43 delivered in under 2 weeks, and I phoned up my local Royal Enfield shop, and I was getting quotes for just getting this part for about 450 quid, and that was through MotoGP. So I mean, it's worth a punt, isn't it? Let's see how it goes, see if it goes on. I'll drop the link in the description if it works, so that if you're ever in need of a fuel pump, you can go for it as well. So we've also got an O-ring seal, which fits down the bottom there. That is genuine Royal Enfield. I think that was a few quid off eBay, again, come from India, arrived within a week, that one. So yeah, we'll get into it and see what happens. Right, here she comes. Just had to lower it down a bit. Bit of a squeeze getting it actually in through the filler cap. There wasn't a lot of room there, I had to squash it down. It's quite a thick pipe, but it's all doing its job now. Last bit. Right, so I'm going to just move the seat up to allow us access to the 2 bolts that are under here to pull the tank off. So we've got to loosen the bottom of the springs there, don't have to take them off, and then we've got to take this bolt out under here, if you can see that, and then just pivot the seat back, and then that should allow us access to the 2 bolts there. So you're going to want a 12mm on the outside and a 13 on the inside. Just give us that a little bit of a loose. Same the other side. Just loosen those. And then we got 12mm on this bolt. There we go. That's him. There we go. So that just allows, hopefully you can see that, access to these two little bolts there, undo those, and then we can get that tank up. Unplug that fuel pump, the naughty fuel pump. And I think there's a couple of breather pipes around that side. Oh no, there's one this side. This is that one there. I'll just bring the camera around. Hopefully this will pick it up. You just got this little breather pipe there that will need to come off. See if there's anything on the other side. Oh, there's a couple of things here that need to come off too. That one out. Yeah, man. That's that one. So it's going to be obvious. Don't need to take a photo. There's a black one that goes into the black one and a white one that goes into the white one. There we go. Nothing dripping out or anything. That's good. Always a good sign. So there she is. Obviously just needs to be unbolted. Oh. So we'll take that off and have a look, see if it fits, see if the new one's the same. Oh, fuel come out there. Now there's a little notch in the fuel pump there to make sure it all goes back in the right place. Out she comes. O-ring has seen better days, probably could get away with it. Not too bad actually, but obviously we will change that because we've got another one. So let's have a look. I mean, that looks pretty spot on to me. The only thing I can see is that the actual nozzle is a tiny bit longer. Other than that, they're spot on. So that nozzle does seem to be longer. That's the only difference I can see. Other than that, they look spot on. Let's have a look at the broken part. There, split right down there at the base. That's obviously the weak spot. See, there you go. There is a fix apparently to repair them, but it all looked a bit involved. This fuel pipe that goes to the fuel injection system, there's also a fix where you can reroute that, put a longer pipe on, but I think I'm just gonna swap it straight over and see how it slots in, see whether there's any issues with it. If it doesn't sit right, I might think about changing that, but we'll see. We'll just go for the straight swap. So I don't know if you can see, that's just slightly longer. Hopefully shouldn't be a problem. So let's get that new seal on there. That's the notch there, that's just sitting there. Yeah, very difficult to get that seal in there properly. So I'm just going to start tightening it up and see if it pops in and forms a seal. Like it is going to be going in. doesn't, well, potentially put the old one back in. So, bit of a squeeze getting that O-ring on. It was a lot fatter than this one, but it did look like it filled the void better. I wasn't able to get it to fit in snug before I did it up, but even this one that's come off is still, there's extra rubber there, sort of thing. So what I did was get it in as best I could and then tighten it up and hope that it forced itself in. That's basically all I could have done. So I've just popped some petrol in and put a cloth underneath, and it's dry. There's no leaks there, so I've tightened up those bolts as much as I'd like to. Don't really want to go anymore. So I think it's a case of just putting it back on the bike now. I'm going to connect the pipe, the fuel pipe that goes to the nozzle, or try to see if that will go on, because that was slightly longer, so that is going to potentially be a little stumbling block. So we'll slot it back on and then just keep an eye on her, see if there's any drips come out. But I think that has formed a seal. But other than that, everything other than the nozzle being about maybe 3mm longer, everything else seems to be exactly the same. So we'll get back on the bike now and then just keep an eye on her. If I'm satisfied that it's worked and I can get that pipe back on, I'll connect everything up, turn it on and see what happens basically. We're just going to pop this tank back. I've just popped the tank back on. I'm just going to secure it in place to make sure it's exactly in the right place, and then we'll see if we can get this fuel pump on. Actually, I've just lifted it up because it makes it a bit easier, so that's slotted on there nicely. Looks like that's in place actually. So hopefully that should be a job done. It's past the little, yeah, ain't gonna come off. So yeah, I'll just tighten everything up, put all these back on, and then we'll fire her up and see what happens. I guess there was no leak in fuel. There's no fuel leaking anywhere. So yeah, looks like that could be it, sorted. Oh, absolutely chucking it down out there. I can hear the pump doing its thing. Oh. We are back in business. No fuel spilling out or spurting out. Beautiful. So 44 quid, 43 quid, something like that. I'll drop a link in the description. So yeah, we'll put everything back together and then go out for a little test ride. Woo!